Thanks and welcome to the 6:15 with me, Kejan Henry Atembe. We begin with our headlines. American-based Cameroonian attorney Emmanuel Salah has filed for the expulsion of Cameroonian separatists hiding in the United States, accusing them of immigration fraud. And the CRM president, Maurice Kamto, has cautioned traditional rulers to remain respected custodians of the tradition and customs of their people and avoid manipulation. He was speaking today in Yaoundé at the press conference. And one student is reported to have died in a tragic motorbike accident en route to school. 4 others were severely wounded after the bike landed under a heavy-duty vehicle. Top stories.
Canal International.
Thanks and welcome back. Check out on our respective platforms on Canal International. Now, legal action has been filed to seek the expulsion of thousands of Cameroonian separatists living in the United States of America. Attorney Emmanuel Salah has filed with the U.S. authorities accusing the separatists of immigration fraud, material support for terrorism, and conspiracy to commit violent crimes. Morindi.
News of the deportation of thousands of Cameroonians by the Trump administration can be seen as a significant move towards holding individuals accountable for their roles in the ongoing conflict in Cameroon. This follows multiple formal petitions by renowned attorney Barrister Emmanuel Salah urging U.S. authorities to take action on these matters.
I have formally requested the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI to enforce President Trump's strict immigration policies and initiate deportation proceedings against the Amazonian immigrants in the United States. I have also filed whistleblower reports exposing the negligence of these federal agencies in prosecuting them despite having concrete evidence of their terrorism and immigration fraud, amongst so many other crimes. In addition, I have sent letters to the acting U.S. Attorney General.
According to Barrister Christopher Salah, who has been at the forefront of these efforts, his objectives are clear.
My objective is clear. The immediate revocation of the immigrant separatist fraudulent immigration status, mass deportation, and criminal prosecution. These separatists are responsible for countless kidnappings, killings, and human rights abuses in Cameroon.
The investigation into the involvement of Amazonian separatists among the deported immigrants has lasted 7 years.
Despite overwhelming evidence of their crimes and terrorism, only about 30 of them are in prison so far, whereas they have thousands of terrorist members. This is unacceptable. These individuals continue to operate freely in the United States, defrauding American citizens, funding war crimes and international terrorism, and causing untold suffering on innocent people in Cameroon.
Salah remains steadfast in his commitment to pursue justice, advocating for a people who have endured years of suffering and torture amidst the Anglophone crisis.
And the president of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, Maurice Kamto, has cautioned traditional rulers to flee manipulation and remain respected custodians of the tradition and customs of their people. Kamto was speaking this afternoon at a press conference in Yaoundé, in which he reiterates that he will be a candidate for the presidential election. Hi, Cynthia is standing by.
Good evening and welcome to the headquarters of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement here in Oja, Yaoundé, where the press conference has just ended. Maurice Kamto, the national president, was before the press with one solid point on the agenda, which is the launching of the fundraising for the campaign funds of the opposition outfit. And they are looking forward to raise a campaign budget worth over 6 billion CFA francs. And he has given out the different modalities how the money is expected to be raised, not only by militants of the CRM party, but by Cameroonians who love to see a change. And of course, in the course of exchanging with the journalists here this afternoon, Maurice Kamto had to address the different opinions over his candidacy. As to whether or not he thinks he will be a candidate, Maurice Kamto affirms that he will be a candidate. And there are three possibilities that he is looking forward for his candidature. One, he can be invested by his very own party, the CRM, given that militants of the other parties who are elected officials since 2020 have crossed the carpet to join the CRM, and they remain elected officials of the country. And the second possibility is an independent candidate where he will need the signatories of 300 elites all over the 10 regions of the country before he can fulfill that possibility. And of course, he equally reiterates that he can be made a candidate of the presidential election through another part of the Cameroon traditional rulers that publicly a lot of manipulations and many that they are under duress to respect what comes from certain authorities. And he says the traditional rulers may at this point have committed a very big mistake that would put them at loggerheads with the different populations' confidence that some of the traditional rulers who even declared their support for President Paul Biya publicly will later on come to their consciences and be able to look at the country and the situation of the country and cast their vote based on the situation of the country. And of course, if they would like to see the situation of their own CRM headquarters in Oja Yaoundé, Hyacin Chia and Michel Foucault.
Well, thanks very much, Hyacin Chia. We have this brief. Authorities of the Islamic Development Bank have expressed satisfaction at the execution rate of its funded projects under the Presidential Plan for Reconstruction and Development of the Northwest and Southwest regions of Cameroon. The field representative was speaking during the Southwest Evaluation Meeting, which took place in Buea on January 30, 2025, and so the stakeholders actually visited Government High School Edinao and Government High School Ombe in order to have the first-hand view of the schools which have been innovated under the program. And so here's a reaction of the traditional ruler of Edinao, His Royal Highness Chief Ngando Peter, after that visit.
I'm so impressed and happy for the rehabilitation that he has done to our own school, GHS Edinao. We, the population of Edinao, we thought we have lost this institution, but thanks to the President, the head of state, for what he has done, and we thank all the executives, the contractors, even the principal.
After the evaluation, and it must be mentioned that that evaluation was chaired by the Secretary General of the Southwest Regional Governor's Office, Gilbert Nkwente. Historians have started raising concerns over the results of the France-Cameroon Memorial team that presented their findings to unearth the atrocities committed by the French colonial regime. Now let's get this report on that. After 2 years of painstaking research and declassification of sensitive archives, the Karine Ramodi and Blick Bessie Memorial Commission has unveiled its long-awaited report on France's colonial atrocities in Cameroon. The findings, compiled into a 1,000-page document, were officially received by French President Emmanuel Macron and Cameroon's President Paul Biya in separate ceremonies at the Élysée Palace in Paris and the Unity Palace in Yaoundé. A summary of the report has now been made public, but while the revelations are significant, reactions from Cameroonian historians suggest that the document may only scratch the surface of France's role in the brutal repression of Cameroon's anti-colonial movement. The report has sparked mixed reactions among scholars, with some questioning its credibility while others call for deeper examination of its full content. Dr. Ben Aki has openly doubted the independence of the researchers, suggesting they may be acting as compradors of French machinations.
We know a little bit about the atrocities in this period because of Cameroonian researchers who are not allied with the government of Cameroon, like Achille Mbembe. So there's a question how these experts were selected. But there is also the deceptive notion that this is the only period we should concern ourselves with.
On the other hand, Professor Victor Julius Ngo, one of Cameroon's most respected historians, sees the report as a step in the right direction but remains cautious. While he has only reviewed the summary, he hopes the full document includes critical details omitted from the public version. One of Professor Ngo's major concerns is France's historical responsibility for the massacres that took place, particularly the killing of 12 CDC workers in southern Cameroon who were mistaken for UPC terrorists. Drawing parallels with Algeria's Hakis, who were later compensated by the French government, he insists that reparations for Cameroon should not only be symbolic but financial as well. And one student has died in a tragic accident in Yaoundé en route to school. In fact, the accident occurred when their motorbike landed under a heavy-duty vehicle. Beatrice Ngamo report from Yaoundé.
This image not different from what happened this morning at Nkozwa neighborhood in Yaoundé. The unfortunate incident, however, concerned bike riders with 3 students, and he came face to face with another carrying 3 students also. 3 passengers, he lost his balance. He wanted to seat space for the other bike in front of him to pass. Going backwards, he fell between the back tires of a truck, which though moving has stopped due to traffic. A move that ended tragic. It would have been worse if the truck was on the move. The driver was positioned as you see. He did not move. If he did, he would have crushed the heads of all 4. The 7th incident, this mother crying out loud, calling on the powers that be to see into this issue. Bike riders speeding with 3-4 passengers, most of them students, who ironically enjoy the risky show. We are so tired of bike riders. It is serious. These are children of the president dying every day. They believe something needs to be done, and urgently to control overloading by motorcycle riders. The wounded were then rushed to the nearest health facility and it comes to the mortuary. The incident was in circulation this morning as Nkozwa and traffic are traditional daily partners.
Oh, very unfortunate indeed. Thanks very much, Beatrice Ngamo. We'll move over to the southwest region where there are growing concerns in Buea as traffic circulation is becoming a nightmare to the residents in that university town. And as just one road, it is not easy to navigate through, and many people have complained of missing out with their respective appointments. Our Southwest Chief Correspondent, Ines, paints a picture on that.
Traffic has become the order of the day in the city of Buea in the southwest region. Coping with traffic is a nightmare to road users and drivers. Moving from mile 17 roundabout to Malingo Junction, passing through between the market, checkpoint Moliko plus OIC market is not an easy task. Drivers and some road users must spend hours on the roads to meet up with their daily activities.
Most especially in the mornings and after when people are close to school, and even the student, other workers, and they are back home. So they really face big difficulties. So we just pray the government to increase the roads and try to see how the elements that they put on the road, like the police, and they try to maintain the good circulation of traffic.
Hundreds of cars on the streets are circulating at snail pace. Meeting with time is so challenging to students, teachers, and workers of all walks of life.
Today, with the increase of fuel to the worry, we will start inside traffic, to the end of the day, you see, I say, maybe you don't really get what you expect.
Road users are calling on competent authorities to rehabilitate secondary roads to decongest the main roads from mile 17 to the governor's office.
Going streets for Buea, they be on tar, when they never tar the roads. Like if they did tar that road, then let's say it will help to reduce the traffic. But we get road from Buea, where the close people come up with their town. That road, look at the road really bad. The government will that road, they fix them, it will be fine.
It is worth noting that the traffic phenomenon is as a result of the economic boom in the city of Buea, which has become an island of peace where many internally displaced persons from risk zones now find refuge, as the security crisis continues to hit some rural areas.
Thanks very much, Ines Daniel Undwambala, reporting there from Buea. And the situation is not very different in Douala, where this time around it is the roads that have been separated by huge or pyramidal waste that have inundated the streets. Cynthia Latte now takes a quick look on how this is obstructing traffic.
From his tire store at Ajib roundabout in Douala 5, Valentine Musa witnesses recurrent accidents occurring right in front of his shop. Pedestrians often find themselves in a standoff with motorists as they navigate roads narrowed by piles of waste. Musa vividly recalls the last accident that happened just days ago.
That's a roundabout there. You want to turn. A passenger or somebody may want to also pass. We have been having a lot of accidents here. Recently, a customer from Dozas just reversed to come and stand here to go back to Dozas workshop. On the way reversing, as he was coming, a child was coming down. He happens to knock the child because he was escaping the gate, and the child was also escaping the gate to pass.
Across neighborhoods in Douala, roads are similarly obstructed by waste piles. Maneuvering through these areas has become a veritable nightmare. In neighborhoods like Bepanda, Sid Cacao, and Ange Raphael, the situation is no different.
Aujourd'hui, non seulement ça empêche la circulation, parce que déjà, en voulant esquiver l'ordure ou quelqu'un qui vient derrière moi, je peux facilement faire l'accident.
Quand on voit des ordures en bordure de route, on esquive.
With waste piles often left uncollected for days, residents express their frustration over the pungent smells permeating the air and the health risk associated with them.
Quand on passe là, l'air prend l'air fait entrer les ordures, l'odeur des ordures dans la voiture, ça nous étouffe et nous sommes exposés à beaucoup de maladies.
Residents also propose solutions to improve the situation, emphasizing the need to keep the streets clean and healthy.
It should be removing it should be constant.
Si quelque chose pouvait être fait, c'est-à-dire quoi, de façon que
if something can be done such that we don't see this trash again, the population would be healthy. With the challenging times, if one gets an illness now, they will not have money to have themselves treated. Until effective waste management solutions are implemented, residents of Douala will continue to grapple with these challenges.
Thanks very much, Cynthia Latte, drawing the cuttings for this edition of the 615 with me, Kejang Henry Atimbe, in which you got information that historians have already raised or started raising concerns on the results of the Ramodi Blick-Besi commission that was set to unearth the atrocities of the French colonial regime. Good day.